Peace and welcome to another Uncanny Top 10. Today we will be checking out our favorite spooky themes in gaming. It doesn't have to be from a horror game, but that may help give it a slight edge. So with no further delay, let's talk about some creepy video game music. Number 10, The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, The Final Hours. And The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, The Shadow Temple. So for the first time in our series, we have a tie. Usually we can narrow it down and choose one, but this time it was quite difficult. We asked many people, patrons, Uncanny X members, and random gamers that we know. It was pretty much split down the middle, with 50% saying Final Hours, and the other 50% saying The Shadow Temple. When it comes to the themes, Final Hours has a very bleak and desolate feel. It's titled Final Hours because everyone expects the world to end and they are just living their final moments. While The Shadow Temple comes from possibly my favorite Zelda soundtrack, and this theme has an eerie and almost unsettling feeling. Both achieve exactly what they set out to do, so we decided to allow both on the list. Give us your opinion on which one you would pick. I am interested to see how long the 50-50 split will last. Number 9, Banjo-Kazooie, Mad Monster Mansion. Composed and arranged by Grant Kirkhope, you may know him from games like GoldenEye 007, Perfect Dark, or Donkey Kong 64. The Banjo-Kazooie franchise debuted on the Nintendo 64, and you can also find them on the Rare Replay collection on the Xbox One. I find this theme to be a perfect Halloween theme. It has all the Halloween elements, from the church bells to the owls. This is a theme you could play at a haunted house, and it would fit absolutely perfectly. I also want to mention, not too long ago I saw a tweet from Mr. Kirkhope where he stated he remixed his Mad Monster Mansion theme. And knowing that I was about to include the original on this top 10, I asked for permission to share a 10-second snippet in our video. I am glad to say he said no problem. So first of all, big thanks to Mr. Kirkhope for allowing us to share this with you. And second, you can check the description for a link to his Bandcamp where you can listen to the full version. Here is Mad Monster Mansion Rides Again by Grant Kirkhope. And I think this one is even more spooky than the original. Number 8, Left 4 Dead, The Witch. Composed and arranged by Mike Moraski. He is best known for his work at Valve composing the scores for Team Fortress 2, the Left 4 Dead series, Portal 2, CSGO, and Half-Life. The harmonizing vocals, mixed with the seemingly randomness of the piano, gives a sense of chaos, and a chaotic beat like this definitely has a creepy factor. I usually think percussions add a little bit too much order in a beat full of chaos, but in this one they fit nicely. They have almost a tribal feel, and you mix that with the rest of the instruments, you get one of the most spooky beats in gaming. If I was a kid and playing this game when this theme started, I would want to get out of that area in the game as soon as possible just to get some different music playing. Number 7. Final Fantasy VII, The Great Northern Cave. By the one and only Nobuo Uematsu, the mastermind behind all of the early Final Fantasy games' music. He arranged and composed the entire soundtrack for Final Fantasy VII. Our lucky number 7 spot today starts out sounding bleak and even a little bit mysterious. When the piano kicks in, it starts to enter the creepy realm. I could picture this in a Friday the 13th movie where Jason is stalking his prey. I also have the theme from a remastered soundtrack, and this is not the soundtrack from the Final Fantasy VII remake, but this one was released in 2009 by a fan named Final Fan Tim, which I assume is a play on words Final Phantom, as well as a Final Fantasy fan named Tim. But either way, his remastered edition contains all of the original tracks with high quality samples, as you can see in his post. So here is the Final Phantom remastered OST, The Great Northern Cave. Number 6. Metroid Prime, Frigate Orpheon. Composed and arranged by Kenji Yamamoto, and not the Dragon Ball composer who was fired, but the Nintendo composer who is known for working on different Metroid games, including Super Metroid, Metroid Samus Returns, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, as well as others. Similar to other themes on our list today, this one invokes a certain creepy feel. There is a sound on this one that almost sounds like you ripped it and encoded a dirty CD to MP3. It still captured the music, but there's almost a scratching sound. Then on top of that, the slow tempo of the music really brings out the spooky factor. This is one that I could picture in any number of scenarios, all of which do not have a pleasant environment. It may not be haunted house material, but it has secluded in a dark place written all over it. I hear this and think of the abyss. Maybe the deep sea, or maybe in deep space. Either way, all alone. Number 5. Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen, Elzevir the Dollmaker. Composed and arranged by Steve Hennepin. This 1996 PlayStation game has some of the darkest music in all of gaming. The entire soundtrack is full of themes that could potentially make someone's top 10 spooky themes list. The instruments in this theme make me think of an evil carnival or maybe an evil circus. The music box reminds me of a number of different horror movies. It feels like the theme of someone who finds pleasure in the pain of others. Imagine playing a dark game like Blood Omen with this in the background. It fits perfectly. Blood Omen is one of my favorite early PS1 games, and the music is a big reason why. When the soundtrack sets the mood, and the game follows suit, it makes for a great and memorable combo. If you haven't played this game, I recommend checking it out, especially during the Halloween season. Number 4. Alice Madness Returns. Card Castles in the Sky. Composed and arranged by Jason Tai, the first time he has made any of our top 10 lists. Jason Tai is the primary music composer involved in creating the soundtrack for Alice Madness Returns. He created around 110 pieces of music for the full soundtrack, although only 22 of them have been officially released. Coming from a game that I am not too familiar with, I have played and enjoyed every other game on our list today. However, that means absolutely nothing when you are talking about creepy game music. A creepy theme is still creepy even without having played the game. First released in 2011 on PC, Xbox 360, and PS3. The game's main character is Alice, a girl suffering from trauma caused by the death of her family in a fire. This is the sequel to American McGee's Alice, a game released in the year 2000. This theme is slow and ominous. You are basically waiting for something bad to happen, and that is exactly what we are looking for. Dark themes with a sense of incoming danger. Number 3. Splatterhouse. The Poltergeist boss fight. Composed and arranged by Yoshinori Kawamoto. Splatterhouse was his first game, but you can find his work in many other games since then, including ones as new as Tekken 7, where you can find his name in the credits. Theme that sounds like it's straight from Friday the 13th. Splatterhouse was first released in 1988, and it shows in the music. It has the feel of an old horror movie. I think of the late 70s or possibly the early 80s era of movies. This theme has a real sinister feel to it. There are 4 distinct sections, each one growing more intense than the last. Perfect for a boss fight against a supernatural being. And as the theme grows, it just makes the fight more intense. You can also find the theme on the TurboGrafx 16, and it has a little bit more of a random feel. Number 2. Tenchu, Wrath of Heaven, The Cemetery. Composed and arranged by Noriyuki Asakura, and first released in 2003. This game takes place in feudal Japan, with a bit of a dark twist. You can come across sorcerers, shadow demons, and other dark forces. This theme comes from the cemetery stage when you must sneak your way through while being wary of the undead. A slight slip-up could cost you your ninja life. The theme isn't the most popular on our list today, as it's up against the likes of Zelda, Metroid, and Final Fantasy, which are some of the most popular franchises that exist in gaming. But we are strictly looking at the music, and this creepy music is definitely near the top of the list. It has a little bit of an industrial feel and a full-on spooky feel. All of the instruments work together to give a very uneasy feeling, and you combine that with a stealth game like Tenchu, so once you reach this stage, it feels like if you make one mistake, it's game over. As always, we have a few honorable mentions that we would like to showcase. Number 1. Timesplitters, Future Perfect, The Mansion of Madness. Composed and arranged by Graham Norgate. In my opinion, this has all of the elements of the perfect spooky theme. It has the dark chant at the beginning, and then later on goes into a music box sound. And all the while, there are ambient sounds that create the perfect spooky feeling. At times, it has a chaotic feel with no percussions. I think drums can almost give too much order, and I want chaos in a spooky beat. I know the vocals at the very beginning are from a sample library, but they are a very small portion of this theme. You can take out that sample and it's still uneasy, a little chaotic, and generally a perfect theme for anything horror. Whether it be a movie or a video game, this is my top spooky theme of all time. This music piece, to me, is unforgettable. So there you have some of our favorite creepy music in games honoring one of our favorite holidays of the year. Our next top 10 will be our favorite Michiru Yamane themes. She is known for her work in the Castlevania series, so you can expect to see some Castlevania music in our next top 10. Until then, I must give shoutouts to gold level patrons, Bearsona, Quantum X, Chris Hayes, and Dimitri. Have a safe and happy Halloween. I am ICC. Thanks for watching. Peace.